This show is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. You are your greatest asset. It's time you started investing in that. Visit betterhelp.com/double toasted and take care of you. So this is being marketed as a black Western. And it's true. It is a Western with the blacks in there. So, no.
Through and through.
Yeah, through and through. It's a mostly 95% black cast right here. So, hey, no false marketing right there. This is truly a black Western. But what you're not seeing this marketed as, what you're missing out on is how much of a comic book
very much.
this is.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, Double Toasted Live is heading to Los Angeles in just a few days, Friday, November 5th. So get your tickets now by going to x1entertainment.com, and we'll see you there soon. Hey everyone, support our Patreon, which helps us to continue bringing you our live streams, videos, and podcasts while bringing you new content such as exclusive live streams and animated shorts. I want to thank Stamp.com, not Stamp, but Stamps.com. I want to thank Stamps.com for supporting and sponsoring this part of the show. I want to talk to you about Stamps.com because it's the perfect time to talk about that. Let me just say this first of all. You know what I hate? You know what? One of the things I really hate in life?
It's a long list.
It's a long list. So if it's at the top, it must be bad. You know what? One of the things that's at the top of my list that I hate in life?
Tell me.
Post offices.
Oh.
Yes, I hate going to the post office. I hate the post office. It's an
unpleasant experience.
I've been to 4 post offices around this city trying to mail stuff off. Every time I go, there's a line out the door. If you got a package, there's a line out the door.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about this is in summertime.
Oh, yeah. And they're working skeleton crews these days. So it takes even longer.
Well, it's crazy because you're a skeleton by the time you get up there. So. Well, with Stamps.com, you don't have to do that anymore, man. And trust me, with the holidays around the corner, you're sending off gifts and packages. Some of y'all out there, you actually have a business, something like we have here, where you send things off to your fans, to your viewers. They do things to win prizes. If that is any of you in these categories that I just mentioned, then go to Stamps.com. Over there, you can compare rates, print your labels. You can get discounts on UPS and USPS services. Right now, I'm going to save you some money as well as time. Because if you go to Stamps.com right now, and let me put this up here. If you go to Stamps.com and use the promo code TOASTED, that's TOASTED, you get a 4-week free trial, free postage, and you get a digital scale. You think, oh, they can give me all that stuff. Okay, y'all want something from me. But no, man, what you want? No, there's no commitment. There's no contract.
Okay, good.
No, you can keep the stuff, And like I said, you got that much to lose right there. You don't have that much to lose. So go ahead and try it out. Again, go to Stamps.com, Stamps.com, and use the promo code TOASTED, TOASTED, and get a 4-week free trial, get some free postage, and get yourself a digital scale. So I want to thank Stamps.com for sponsoring this portion of the show. And as always, thank you, all of you Toasties out there, for your support. Oh, about to talk about this Black Western with your boy, as you said once more, Idris Elba. Boy, Netflix gave the horse and he just kept riding. He just kept going.
I know. They gave him a cowboy hat for his birthday and he just keeps showing up at Netflix. What else you got for me? I'm ready to ride again. Yeah. All right, slow down. We'll get another Western going.
Shit, that's Netflix following him right now. Hey, Idris, hey, we on horseback. Hey. Hi-ho, Silvermate. Away. That fool rode off to the sunset. They didn't see him no more. There have actually been a few black Westerns out there, man.
Sure.
From
Posse.
Yeah, from you had blaxploitation Westerns, you had cult classic Westerns, and who could forget the 1990s classic Posse?
Come on, you're not our man.
He loves it. Yeah, that's
That guy's
yeah,
happy.
he's their biggest fan.
I love this movie. All the niggers and riding horses and things.
He been getting oral sex with the
Probably pretty good.
Yeah, he probably got easy access. They got no teeth up there.
Who's next?
Yeah, I say classic because according to critics out there, Posse was classically bad.
Yeah.
What's the biggest difference? This is probably one of the reasons some people say they just couldn't do what they wanted to do. What's the difference between Posse, some of these older black westerns, and now this new western that we have, The Harder They Fall? What's the difference between them? Money. That's the big difference
that's
right
true.
there. They weren't giving money back in the day to make a western, an all black cast western over there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you weren't lucky to get some money, they say here's a cowboy hat, here's a horse and some dirt.
Right.
You better make it happen.
Right. Yeah. That cowboy hat we gave you, pass it around.
Exactly.
Take up a collection.
That's the best we can do. Yeah. How about you ride that horse and tip that hat and ask people for some money?
Or rob a bank.
Yeah. Yeah.
Netflix has all the money.
It has all the money out there. So, a lot of people say though, but man, some of these films, even some of these black westerns, the reason why they became cult classics is because, well, they made the best with the little that they had. They made more with little. And sometimes people say when you have too much access to resources and money, well, it just makes it too easy. So is that the case with this western right here? The Harder They Fall? Let's go ahead and get into it. Why are you laughing at, little lady?
You're like, that's what we're going to tell you, partner.
Go get him a sarsaparilla. See you back at the cat house.
You had to throw that in there.
I'm
didn't you?
sorry. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and take a look at this trailer right here, and we will give you our thoughts right after this.
Really?
So this centers on Nat Love, played by Jonathan Majors, and he's out to avenge the death of his family, who were murdered at the hands of the evil and ruthless Rufus Black, played by Idris Elba.
Rufus Buck.
And Rufus Buck, who is black.
No denying
Also
that.
black.
Rufus Black Buck. And this happened to him when he was a kid. And Rufus is so ruthless that he carved a cross into his head just so he remembers who killed his family. He'll never forget. No, don't be traumatized because every time you look in the mirror, you gonna know I did it. Of course, this guy's kept his grudge all these years, and he's found the right moment to get his revenge on Rufus Buck. Turns out Rufus Buck got a pardon. Guy was supposed to be locked away. He's so bad, so down and dirty. But for reasons that you'll have to just watch the movie for, him and his crew, they got a pardon, and now they're back on the scene, and Rufus is going back to the town that he pretty much owns, and he's going to put it together as some black utopia. But it can't be no black utopia if the man is over there ruling
With an iron fist.
ruling by intimidation. But he needs money to get that town. And that's when Nat Love says, oh, I got you now. I'm going to go in. I'm going to rob your crew. I'm going to keep this money hostage, and I'm going to bring you to justice. There's a little more going on in that, subplots and whatnot, but that's about the gist of it right there. So I'm going to do something a little different because I'm just curious. And you don't have to go into detail or anything.
Okay.
I want to get your impressions of this. What do you think about this?
I think it's great spectacle. Mm-hmm. I think, wow, it's nice to see something like this that doesn't have the name Quentin Tarantino stamped all over it.
Yeah.
Falls into certain tropes and traps that go along with stylized westerns.
Yeah.
That kind of make it not so enjoyable, but if you get past it, then you can have a great time.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. So nobody is confused and mixed up. I'm just going to tell you what I think this needs to be marketed as also, what you need to know about this. So this is being marketed as a black Western. And it's true, it is a Western. with the blacks in there. So, you know,
Through and through.
Yeah, through and through. This is a mostly a 95% black cast right here. So, hey, you know, no false marketing right there. This is truly a black Western. But what you're not seeing this marketed as, what you're missing out on is how much of a comic book
very much.
this is.
Yeah.
And y'all like, wait, what? And people like, God damn, boy, ain't there enough comic book movies out there?
Well, yeah,
now they're coming from Westerns too?
Well, that's the thing. Watching this, it reminds you that, you know, back in the day, Westerns were the comic book movies of that time.
Yes. I'm like, damn, they taking over Westerns now too. But that's always been the case in a way. Now, there's a lot of black actors in here who are the stars. But one of the biggest stars in here is the production. The production in here is amazing. And if you're not looking at these scenes that are going by, because they go, you know, this trailer's cut so quick. If you're not paying attention, then you're gonna miss out on some of the great comic book production that's called that they got going on here. There's a part in here where, well, there's a lot of parts, but when they get to Redwood, the town that Rufus Buck is trying to take over again, man, there's a moment where they sit back and they give you just a screen full of the town. And that town is a comic book panel.
Oh, yeah, very
Yeah.
much so. Look at those colors.
Yeah.
It's artistic.
Yeah, those colors are primary colors and very bright, and they did that on purpose. And you know, and it reminded me of what Warren Beatty did back in the day, because this made me think of Dick Tracy very much.
Face, Mumbles, Lips Manless, and the Blank are out to get the greatest detective of all time.
You mind if I call you Dick?
You know, the thing with Dick Tracy is that Warren Beatty said, I want to frame these like comic book panels, and I want to use a lot of bright primary colors. I would not doubt if they took a hint from his production on that, because that's exactly what they did with this right here. And the comic book feel is pushed even more by the playful direction.
Oh, yeah. Just how hyper stylized it is so often.
Oh, they even, at one point, they even do panels. You know, it's almost like they're doing comic book panels with all the characters being, you know, and they're doing that split screen a lot now, a lot of things. But they do it here, man. And, you know, they do a lot of fun camera work. I mean, it's almost like they planned out tightly every shot, every production aspect. And I had to look at that and I had to be like, wow, I hardly ever see art direction and production this tight in a movie. I mean, where everything is thought ahead of time from a visual aspect. It might be a little too much for some people, but when I understood that this was, you know, a straight up graphic novel or a comic book Western brought to life, I was able to let some things go. They go to a white town. Yeah. And the town is a white town. Everything is white.
You think it's the people. They're like, no. Everything here is painted white.
They made sure that black asses stood out when they walked into town.
It's like one of those cities in The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, man. It was.
Or The Wiz.
It's crazy, man. You know, and this is something that they embrace because you're talking about the tropes and how this isn't doing anything new. I think that was the point here.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's just one where I know, like, I like Westerns a lot, and I tend to like them more gritty and even revisionist. And when they get, you know, stylized, I'm like, well, it's okay, I guess. And this one is very stylized.
This is something that they intentionally embrace, this whole comic book field, because they're doing a fantasy, man. Mm-hmm. And the reason why they're doing a fantasy, again, this whole thing comes back full circle, man. Them making a fantasy right here, they're doing exactly what the Westerns were back in the day. What most Westerns are right now. You know, that the Western that we know in pop culture, it is a fantasy, man.
Oh, absolutely. It doesn't really resemble the actual West.
No. They're doing what they did, creating a mythical world. I mean, spaghetti Westerns are pure fantasy, man.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, they're not even set in the West.
I know.
All these goddamn copper tone cowboys out there. You know, bunch of Italians taking our mythology and making them bigger than life. The only thing they said to sell it, we just got to take one of the biggest Western figures over there, like Clint Eastwood.
The good, the bad, the ugly.
Hey! He's like, wait a minute. The funny thing is, I
always thought he was the bad and Eli Wallach was the ugly.
For years, I thought he was ugly. I was like, God damn. I'd be mad. I'm like, now you know that fool's uglier than me. Yeah, man, this is, they're having so much fun playing with the Western that they jump right into it, man. I'm doing like the doing the title sequence, like when the title of the movie comes up, the title of the movie keeps getting interrupted by somebody getting killed.
Outlaw hunts down those who trespass against him.
Like they can't doing that part. Those stops. It's like they doing like the bam harder. And the title just like y'all gonna let me talk?
Okay, just let me know when you're done.
No, this is doing the same thing that those Westerns did, but this time they're creating their own mythical West, while at the same time giving recognition to all these figures that never got it. Some that we even know today that were based on actual black people, like the Lone Ranger. We hear this now because it's coming out more and more, but Bass Reeves. Yeah. The Lone Ranger was based on him, a black dude. Of course, back then they say, ain't but no nigga. Killing all these white people. Are you crazy? Nah. They tell you at the beginning of the movie, the story's fictional. We know this is wild, but the people are real.
Yeah.
And it can throw you off at first, man. And I get it. And it goes back to just kind of our conditioning with the Western growing up. Because I used to, we talk about how I used to watch. The reason why I love Westerns is because of my father. I used
That's
to watch
usually
them all
what
the time.
gets anybody into them.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. Most of us love Westerns because we watched it with our fathers, our grandfathers, because they love that, man. And we are conditioned to see, certain heroic figures as white faces and whatnot. And right here, they're not doing it. And we're conditioned to see it at the point where we're messed up looking at it. Because when it first comes on, I can tell you right, because I'm guilty of this. I said, this just looks like a bunch of black people getting ready for Halloween or going to a Western themed party.
Well, I don't think it's because of conditioning, but you have some really top-notch black actors who are doing cosplay here.
Yeah,
I mean, it's still fun, but it's just this time.
Yeah, it looks like a BET owned theme park, and they got Black Westland as one of the attractions.
that Black Westworld.
Yeah, Black Westworld. Yeah, but black robots going around. I'm just speaking for myself. I'm not trying to speak for a lot of people. I'm sure that some people feel like me, where it's like, man, between the bright colors at first, between this being somewhat modernized in a way, they got a guy who comes on the beginning. I'm gonna get my blam blam on. It's like, all right. This is definitely, as you say, very hyper stylized, and it's between looking at white people be cowboys and heroes, and this being so stylized and bright to the point that it does look like a cartoon or a comic book or a theme park. You might dismiss it at first.
It is a thing where the longer it goes, the more you start to see there's a real commitment here, and you get caught up in it.
It does, and for me, it did not take long, man. I'm cool with it because they lay it out for you. They like, we are having fun doing our own thing with the Western tropes. This is our Western. This is what we have fun with. This is what people want to see. It's what people used to watch Westerns for anyway. That in the first 5 minutes, they got a bank robbing gang, a shootout in the valley, and they got a duel in a dusty church.
Yeah, and I with all this going on, and I keep harping on this, but it's like, man, they did not get scrub actors for this. These are A-list black actors.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, man. I think that the cast is great. Again, not providing anything new. They all serve a type, a very self-aware type. You got the outlaws, the gunslingers, the bank robbers, the cold killers. The good gang with the cocky gunslinger, with the fancy pistol tricks, the loyal sharpshooter. Always up on that roof. You always got to do it.
Always a roof guy. Always two quick draw artists who want to see who's the fastest.
Yep. The outlaw who's actually a good person, just looking for revenge, and again to settle the score. The strong woman that loves him but can hold her own and fights it for a little while. Beats his ass when he first comes back. It's the same things, but it's updated by, I guess, not only color, but other things that we got going on now, sexual preference. Yeah, man. And the casting in this is great. And I'm telling you, it's not because that these are just people of a talent magnitude, but it's because they cast it carefully, so they've got actors that fit the the actors' personalities, or vice versa. Like Jonathan Majors. Jonathan Majors he's being known now as a leading man.
I mean, he's like another Denzel Washington.
He's on his way.
And it's funny when I think about when he was in The Last Black Man in San Francisco, where he wasn't even the lead actor. He's like the co-lead. And I just thought, this guy's so good. I hate that because he's black, he's just going to disappear and nobody will really know. And he is blown up.
Man, he got that Disney money now.
Oh, exactly.
He's in.
Yeah.
Shit, now he's in the Marvel's universe. Shit, he's in. That man's going to take care of him.
I mean, he pretty much owned that last episode of Loki.
Yeah,
he just said, hey, this is all mine. Just give it here.
And he was a totally different personality in that too. But Jonathan Majors, he's being known as a leading man. So what do? They make him the leader of the Nat Love gang, the good guy. Yeah, he's the good gunslinger we're all rooting for, the hero. Lakeith Stanfield, weird.
Yeah, right.
But
He's always weird.
He's always weird. Yeah.
But charismatically weird.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I love his character, man. I love how strange he was, and that's his character. Like he's just like his character's like him.
Well, you always love a character who seems laid back and unflappable. When everybody else is losing their cool or flying into histrionics, somebody who's always just kind of like, it ain't that big of a deal.
No.
Yeah.
No matter what, he always has it under control. Might be an asshole about it, might be evil, but he's got it under control. Regina King ain't taking nobody's shit.
Right.
Nothing.
She's the black mama everybody's scared of. And fine as hell too. And that's her character in the movie. I don't work for him. I just do my own thing. He ain't my boss. I'm just around here because there's something to gain. And I dare you to say something about it.
Yeah, that's her.
Zazie Beetz, tough and sexy. And we've seen her do that before. I think this is probably her most mature role.
Probably.
Even though it's an exaggerated character.
Sure.
This is her not being cute, tough, or anything like that. Like she's having to be kind of strict and, and laying it down like, hey, I'm not taking your shit. Delroy Lindo, just cool, man.
Yeah.
That's all you can say. Delroy Lindo always just been cool, and that's him in the movie. He plays Bass Reeves, the inspiration for the Lone Ranger, and he comes in. He's got everything under control. He doesn't yell, doesn't do anything that's out. That's outrageous. He's just like, hey, you know what? I'm on you. Love Delroy Lindo.
I know.
Man. We haven't seen enough of him.
True.
The other characters, they just fit their classic Western characters perfectly. Idris Elba. He plays that quiet, cold-hearted villain, man.
He reminded me of when he was Shere Khan in the
Jungle Book. But he's a great Western villain because,
is.
I remember seeing some movies like with Henry Fonda. I wish I could show you the clip. Henry Fonda, he reminded me so much.
Once Upon a Time in the West.
Once Upon a Time in the West. Henry Fonda was cold, man. Henry Fonda was like, I don't care if you were 12 years old. You talk shit to me or if I cross me wrong, catch me on a wrong day, I'm shooting you. And that is him. He never yells.
He doesn't.
He that's because his guns make a very convincing point.
He does not yell. He's so calm and even tempered that you think maybe he's gonna not shoot you.
No,
he is.
And I was really impressed with somebody that you don't see a lot, but this kid should actually be getting more attention. R.J. Seiler.
Well, we used to see him a lot, and then he just kind of disappeared.
Yeah,
but it's like he grew up.
Exactly. He's the young cocky gunslinger in here. I always wanted to draw with people. I bet I can outdraw you.
Always flipping them guns around, and you're like, don't do that.
Delroy Lindo's like, boy, you're gonna die. You're gonna be too busy flipping and playing yo-yos with your gun. Somebody's gonna take advantage and shoot your ass. One of the things that might throw people off in here also is that there's a lot of modern music that's playing, and I thought that would bother me, but it didn't.
They don't overdo it.
No.
So many things, so many productions like this would constantly throw hip hop in there, so you could never really sink into the time period.
Yeah.
Here, it's sparing.
Well, there's only a couple of hip hop songs in there. A lot of it is Jamaican influenced music. And it fits. What they've done is they've made sure that it fits the tone of the scene.
Yeah.
And sometimes the music just plays into the actual music of that time.
Right.
And the director pointed out something, because I read an interview with him where he says, "I know I'm using modern music in this. I'm not the first one to do that.
No.
You had Elvis singing songs and westerns, and if you look at spaghetti westerns, they're using instruments. They're playing rock guitar." are instruments that weren't even around at that time. You know, to get some of that, you know, that's not an instrument like they had. Some of that is
it's straight up hip hop and Django.
Well, they used a lot of stuff. They used hip hop. They used 70s classic. You know, take me down the highway.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm not gonna come down on, because you hear me talk about Django Unchained. I've actually learned to like Django Unchained more than I used to. I mean, I'm not comfortable with certain things they did, but I do like the movie a lot more. I actually like the movie now. But I think this movie is an example of how to stylize something without being so obvious about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I had a fear that it was going to go through that again, and I was like, no, I like the way they're playing this.
Like, again, not to harp on Django. I know people like it. I have a more appreciation of it, but I think why I didn't like the music in that is because it just came out of nowhere. You know, a lot of stuff fits here, man. There's just a lot of real, as you said, Martin, artistry here, man. This director might as well be playing with a Western toy set of some action figures. It's one thing to say I liked it, but I almost even loved it. But I also have a lot of respect for this.
Yeah,
it's a lot of great filmmaking going on here, man. You know, this is something I wish I had gone to see when they did a screening of it on the big screen. But go ahead.
Oh no, I'm with you on that. It is one, like I said, it takes, at least it took me a little bit to really get into the rhythm of it, because I felt so burned by all the things I've seen before that have tried to do this. You know, it doesn't take a long time, but once I found the rhythm of it, I was like, wow, I am very impressed by this movie, and it keeps being impressive and doing different things and had me invested. And yeah, the story is it's simple and it's cliche, and you know, I think you can only get so wrapped up in it. And, you know, the big reveal at the end, you might feel different ways about that. Some might be like, oh, wow. And some are like psh, come on. But I think it's fun.
You know, when I saw that big reveal, I was just like, man, this is part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
You know, we're having a Batman moment now. Right?
Yes,
so,
we are.
You know,
Yes, we are.
I was like, I'm cool with this. What would you give it?
Oh, I'd give it a low full price.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'll give this a full price, man. I was surprised at how much I loved this when I saw it. I was like, damn, and I was kind of fighting, and I was like, I don't understand this. Maybe it's just me being racist. I don't know, but I was like, I don't get it. But by 10 minutes in, I was having fun with this. People, this is comic book in the best way. Yeah. And Deon Cole, I got to tell you, Deon Cole, it took me a while to recognize him because Deon Cole does some great stand-up, man. I love it. But he was being dramatic here.
Yeah.
And still being funny.
Yeah.
Like when Idris Elba, what's his name, Rufus Buck was coming in, I ain't going to tell you what happened. He was talking some shit. Shit, I'm a sinister motherfucker. You can't come here and talk to me like that. Man, but he wasn't playing it up for laughs, but it was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, the cast is great. The production is great. And this is comic book in the best way. It's funny that I would tell you one of the best comic book movies that I've seen so far this year would be The Harder They Fall.
This year, this has not been a good year for comic book movies. So this one stands out.
No, and don't let anybody tell you different, man. It is a straight up comic book movie, and I loved it, man. I looking at this, I felt like I was turning the pages of a comic sometimes. I mean, that right there, if you were to step back in the room and look at this, it would almost look like you were looking at an illustration. Mm-hmm. The biggest complaint I can give it is if you're looking for something different as far as story. No, they're not trying to do that, and you're not going to get that. Some of the stuff that they do hyper stylize here, and probably it's too much for some people. You know.
It could be too much for you.
Yeah, and that's cool too. But seriously, if you can just, pun intended here, just go along for the ride, man. You are in for a good time with this. Yeah, I loved it, man. I give this a full price. Watch it. Give it a chance at least. I think it's
so now it's a full price?
he always gave. He said it was full price.
Oh, I thought you said like a rental or something. Did you guys see it in a like yesterday, today? When did you guys see it? Shut up. When did you guys see it?
This afternoon.
Oh, okay.
Oh, damn. No, nobody listens to me. And gonna be smart about it too. Oh, now it's a full price. Yeah.
I thought you said a rental.
Y'all, did y'all? No.
Shut up. No. I had a lot of excitement today. I had a lot of stimulation.
Don't know. Nobody listen to old Corey over here.
Full price.
I tell you, boy,
It's rare you give anything a full price, Coleman. It's rare. It's rare.
That's what you're gonna make me do to myself over here.
You're hard to please, Coleman.
And you don't listen. You know why I'm hard to please? Maybe you listen to me, I'll be pleased.
I thought you said a rental.
Why? Why?
In the comments, they're gonna say he did say a rental. Watch.
No, I was sitting here. He said full price.
Okay. It was nice to meet you guys.
You gotta do the show. Pixie, we good. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna go get a sarsaparilla real quick. You got it. Thank you.
Nice to see you.